Options, futures, forex, even Bitcoin. See how market timing works and how money is made in up, down, and sideways markets by using their patented rules-based strategy. It helps find the right investment and limit the risk. The instructors at Online Trading Academy are certified, currently trade, and are profitable. They show you how they invest every day. Call now for a pair of tickets to a free half-day class at Online Trading Academy. Classes are all over Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, Jupiter, and Port St. Lucie. Call Online Trading Academy now. Call 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510. 954-668-2510.
The following message is sponsored by the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Hurricanes can cause severe damage to your home or property, so if you need storm repairs, make sure you use only Florida licensed contractors. Remember to check their references, get everything in writing, and don't pay up front. To verify your contractors are licensed, contact the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation online at myfloridalicense.com. That's myfloridalicense.com.
Gallbladder problems, gingivitis, a bad back, indigestion, fatigue, low libido, not sleeping well, need to lose weight? Just some of the topics you'll hear about. Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Martin. Join me Sunday mornings at 10 on Talk 1470 WNN.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470 WNN.
The following program is sponsored by the Emerald Financial Group, which is solely responsible for its content. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial members, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through JW Cole Advisors. The Emerald Financial Group, JW Cole Financial, and JW Cole Advisors are unaffiliated entities. The opinions expressed by Jenette Vanderhorst should not be construed as specific investment, legal, or tax advice. All economic and performance information is historical and not indicative of future results. Investing may involve the risk of loss of principal. Any tax advice on this show is not intended to be used by any person for the purpose of avoiding U.S. federal or state tax penalties that may be imposed on such person, and each listener should seek advice from their tax advisor or legal counsel on topics that arise from the show. Jenette Vanderhorst is not providing legal or tax advice. Nothing should be construed as solicitation of an offer to buy securities.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Hi, Sandra Torres with Plan Your Company, a business coaching and consulting firm that helps to fast-track business goals for entrepreneurs and business owners.
And Jenette Vanderhorst, I'm a wealth advisor with the Emerald Financial Group, helping to educate and empower our women to take control of their financial futures. Thank you for joining us today at Minding Your Business with Sandra and Jenette at twoboricuas.com.
Providing mindful thoughts on life, love, and business. Hey everybody, welcome to Two Boricuas Talk Radio, Minding Your Business with Sandra and Jenette. We are so excited to have you guys here today. We are on 95.3 FM if you're listening to us live, WNN 1470 AM, and on Facebook Live if you're looking at us right now. So we're so excited. Quick shout out to the upcoming event, so you guys have your save the dates. September 19th is the next United Women Professionals event. TBD on the location. I think it's going to be in my country club in where I'm at, but I'll post that later. And then you have
my September 13th. We're doing our wine, women, chocolates, and books and books and books. So we're going to start with Simon Sinek's book. Start with your why.
He's awesome. I love him.
And that's September 13th at my office, 1166 West Newport Center Drive, and that's here in Deerfield, 6 to 7:30. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, Simon Sinek. I love his thoughts and everything. He's awesome. So that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So
cool. Yeah, so we have two great topics today, which kind of all bounce off each other, which is supporting your business, who, like the people behind that, and then a topic that's been coming around when it comes to finance, is you're a wealth advisor, is a lot in the Hispanic community. It's the under-tapped market of women not really knowing or having anything in place financially when it comes to those things.
Well, it's really underserviced. Mm-hmm. It's underserviced. It's the Hispanic community really, they make up I think it's projected that it's going to be like 26% that makes up the population
In the U.S.
In
or
the
Hispanic?
U.S. So by 2050. So with that said, you figure if they're a growing if we're a growing population, we Latinos, Hispanics, if we're a growing population, then you have to assume that there's got to be some information that's not being shared.
Yep.
So yes, while there's a lot of Hispanics that are taking on roles as CEOs, and they're doing well for themselves, especially when you start looking at California and, the majority are Hispanics. That might be a demographic on that end of the United States that is being better serviced because they are the majority. But when you start going out into the Midwest, there's a lot of Latinos everywhere, and even here in South Florida that really aren't getting served.
Yeah, it's a lack of education. It's, they really don't know. I think people have this vision, and you have a great story that I'd love for you to share, because it makes me emotional listening to it. But it's awesome.
Well, the reason, why I came into this industry, why I decided that this would be the best route for my career, and really I didn't know it until I started working in the financial industry, that I became aware, and then memories of my childhood and what happened to my dad. And long story short, we had an insurance agent come to the house who sold my dad a policy, an annuity policy. And my parents, lower middle class Americans, doing what they need to do, family of 5, working to make ends meet. So it's not like they had a huge bucket of savings. And he was sold this annuity policy and really didn't understand what he was getting himself into. And this is years ago. So we're talking about late 80s, early 90s. It's a product that really didn't come with a lot of the bells and whistles that they come with now. But even then, you had to be a sophisticated investor to really understand what you were getting yourself into.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't. And he put all of his savings, all of my family's savings, into this product. And when I went off to school, to high school, and I went to an art high school, the demand on my art supplies was high on a monthly basis. So when he had to reach in for the reserves, there were no reserves. It was all tied into this policy. So then he took a major financial hit, having to break the policy so that he could get his money back. So really understanding what you're getting yourself into, understanding that you cannot leave yourself cash poor, making a decision to find yourself a financial professional that's going to help you to empower and educate yourself to take control of your financial future is a personal relationship. It's one that you really need to be comfortable with. You want to know that the person you're with, you can understand them, that they meet your expectations, that they understand your needs and your wants. We all provide the same type of service. We all provide the same type of service. Really, it's finding out which professional works best for you. So, and there's so many of us out there. There's so many good financial professionals. Really, just teaming up with one that's going to work well with you is important, because it is a personal transaction.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. And even the idea that the importance of it, so while it's educating now, and then I think somebody I heard mention, with as little as $20 to $40 a month, you can do something that's planning to start something that's kind of planning. Well, I don't know, and I don't know what kinds of policies those are, but
and I think you and I had talked about this earlier. So like for myself, because I can only speak for myself, I don't go in pushing any type of product. I need to understand what your needs are, what your specific needs are, because they're different. From person to person, they're different. So if you don't have enough in your savings, and you're hearing all this information, you're like, oh my God, the market is doing well, the market is up today, interest rates are going up, it's a great time to go in. Well, how do you go in? Are you going in as an investor for like just a savings account, something that we would consider like a retail individual account, or should you be looking at a retirement account? So long-term planning.
Yep.
So when you do long-term planning, specifically what you're referring to is a retirement account. If you do not have a retirement savings account, you should not be investing money in the market. So you should not be looking at, a stock and saying, I'm going to put all my money into Google. Well, you don't even have a retirement account.
Yeah.
So you're risking it all. You may as well go to Vegas and lose your shirt. Because that's what it is. You're not diversifying. You're not talking to anyone. No one is guiding you. So it's not product driven, guys. Let me make sure that you understand that. It is a full spectrum service. It's like you're looking at the whole package. And when you go to the doctor and you go for your physical, they're not going to just check you for one thing. They're going to check you for everything. Your financial professional is your financial doctor. They have to look at every part of your life. Your needs, your wants, how many kids do you have? Are they going to go to college? How much have you put away in savings? I mean, there's a whole slew of questions. So finding that right professional that you feel comfortable enough to share, because there has to be a level of honesty. Whoever is working with you cannot fully service you if you're not giving them all the intricacies of your life, unfortunately. Because we talk about even like, we like to eat, we like to go out and eat, we like to do our nails, we like to do our hair, we like to do all these things, but are you covering your retirement savings? Are you putting away money? Are you putting money away for tomorrow?
Exactly.
People say, well, I've been working all my life. Social Security will carry me. Well, the truth is Social Security helps those that are retiring tomorrow. What you put in today covers those that retire tomorrow. We hope that Social Security will be there for us when we retire.
Yep.
But that's not a guarantee. That's certainly not a guarantee.
Yeah.
Amy, by the way, who's been here pretty much every show. She's only missed a few. Finally decided to join us today. So we're
sitting in that chair over there.
Yeah. So we're really excited to have her on the show today. And Amy actually does come from a financial background as well. She's not an advisor, but she plays a very important role in the industry. So, Amy, any thoughts? Because, you've been in the industry a long time. So you may not be a wealth advisor. Now? Right. So I'm sure you have some thoughts.
Well, I don't have a disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
But you can, we'll carry you on mine.
Yeah. But what are some of the questions? Like, what are important questions to ask when you meet with someone or...
I don't know. That's not my department.
Yeah.
But when you were talking about being honest and you do have to be, you have to tell people, yes, I do go and spend, $80 on shoes a month.
Yeah.
Or
a coffee or whatever.
Right.
You might not think it's that much, but it adds up.
It does add up.
Exactly. Yep.
And really, you're not doing yourself any good by holding back that information.
Yep.
So then people will put together something that says, okay, well, if this is your plan and this is how it's going to work, and you leave out that little tidbit, then what happens is that plan's not going to work. Because something's missing. There's a component that's missing. It's an intricate component because, it could be like the $80 in shoes a month, but then it could be the $5 a day on Starbucks coffee. It all adds up.
Yep.
It all adds up. So if you're not plugging those numbers in, those numbers will always be off.
Yep.
So you'll never reach that goal that you're trying. So, again, very personal. So when you decide you want to work with someone that is a financial professional, you want to feel comfortable because you want to have that, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
The person's
that.
looking out for your best interest. So yeah, it's good.
It also makes you take a better look at yourself.
Sure.
Because I've talked to people before and they're like, oh, I didn't realize I was spending that much on that. If I cut that in half, then that can go into savings.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, I used to see, I had a friend once that had a giant Starbucks cup. And every day, instead of going to Starbucks, she'd put the money in that cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's what somebody was telling me. It's like, with as little as removing one little thing or cutting back on something that really is
on something.
unneeded. Make the coffee at home and take it in a to-go cup.
But until you do you really put it all down and look at it,
Mm-hmm.
it's not real.
Yeah. I mean, you want to maintain your lifestyle. Obviously, everybody has, okay, this is how I want to live. I want my cup of coffee at Starbucks every day. Great. Awesome. Good for you. But you also want a long-term retirement plan. You want to have, if you can eliminate that and put that small dollar amount into a portion where it's going to go into an account where 30 years later, you have something you weren't even really kind of expecting.
Well, there are different ways of doing it. So some people will say, well, I'm afraid to put it away because I'm only 30 years old. I'm only 35 years old. I can't touch it. If I put it into a retirement account, then I'm going to get penalized if I have to pull that money out. Mm-hmm. Well, again, having the right financial professional, the right wealth advisor is going to review your needs and your wants and say, okay, maybe not in a traditional IRA, but we should be looking at a Roth. So there are different vehicles, there are different ways to save. It's so personal. So again, a lot of this information is pretty general. But when you get into that conversation, what's really important, especially in our Hispanic community, is putting away money for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That putting it under your mattress does not work. If you are 35 years old and you have 25 years to retire, 30 years to retire, well, 30 years to retire, and for some of us it might be 40. So that money has to keep up with the rate of inflation at a minimum. It's not going to happen under your mattress. It's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then they'll say, oh, well, if the market tanks like it did in 2008, I'm so glad that I didn't have money in the market. You're like, what? In 2008, the biggest mistake that investors did was pull out. That was the biggest mistake that they made, because then they took what was considered an actual loss. If they had left it in the market, it was unrealized. When that market came back up, those people made that money back within the next few years. If you're not retiring for 10, 15 years,
why touch it?
Why? You're not worried about a 2008. Mm-hmm. The right financial professional is going to look at your account and review you as a person, which means year over year you're meeting with them the same way you would your doctor, because you're getting an annual physical, and they're reviewing those objectives. And the older you get, the closer you get to retirement, that account should reflect, the way your account is invested should reflect your age, because you're getting closer to retirement. So then your risk shouldn't be so high. You should be invested in things that are much more conservative, that aren't going to have that much movement because of whatever the market's doing.
When you're older,
you're older, absolutely. So as you get older and you grow, because you're essentially growing with the financial professional. And I talk to so many Latinos, so many Hispanic men and women, and the men are the worst when it comes to like putting away in a retirement savings. They're like, yo no voy a meterme en eso. I'm not going to get myself into that. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And I'm very patient. So I really take the role of, okay, let's just sit down, let's talk about it. You need to understand what you're passing up when you do that. You need to understand how you're not protecting your family when you do that. Mm-hmm. It comes from a very selfish part, sometimes even a little prideful and ego-driven.
Yeah.
And the family's the one that suffers.
Yeah.
And it's not, again, like I said, it's not a specific product. It's taking a holistic view of your financial circumstances. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have enough, well, how are you protecting your family? Do you have enough in life insurance? Do you have little life insurance? There's so many things that you need to review that you're totally doing yourself a disservice by not having the conversation, by not engaging in at all. Just saying, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not comfortable talking about my finances.
Yeah.
It makes for a very sad situation, because you can't force people to do something they don't want to do. But because of what happened to my dad, it is my personal mission. It is my goal to go out there and educate and say, I'm not going to, this is not about hurting you. This is not about me wanting your money. This is about me showing you something and hoping that I can open your eyes to a whole nother life that is attainable if you just change your thinking. So again, I'm not saying that there aren't some of us, and I try not to go into that conversation because it can happen just like in any business. You're going to have your good and your bad.
Mm-hmm.
So at least knowing what you're looking for is a healthy start.
Yep. What are some of the questions that they ask? Like, what are their concerns besides the lack of education? So they're quick to say, yo no voy a hacerle eso ahora.
It's the market.
It's the
market.
It's how they see.
A lot of it too is, we're all taught, you don't talk about your money, you don't talk about this. And I've told people before, if I seem like I'm being nosy, you have to remember that I have a license that says I'm allowed to ask these questions.
Right.
So
yeah.
So
yeah, it's because it is very confidential, and again, like I said, it's the pride. It's you're not going to tell me something I don't already know.
Yep, everybody knows everything already.
It's the fear of the market.
They just don't do it.
Right. It's fear of the market. It's thinking only the rich get richer. I mean,
I'll have time to do it later.
Right.
I can't afford to do it now.
I can't afford to do it now. Feeling like they're going to relinquish control because now it's sitting in an investment account that might be tied up in securities that they can't touch. Or just knowing if they're doing a retirement savings and it's long-term planning that they can't touch it without being penalized. I mean, we hear it all the time. I have, even now, I mean, it's when people say, well, and they know they shouldn't take the money out, it's not sitting in anything that they can take the principal out. They're going to get charged a penalty because they're not 59 and a half and they're taking out an early distribution because it's like, oh, I'm going to go start this business. I'm going to buy this truck. And then especially when I know that they have money put away in savings, why wouldn't you take from your savings money that you're not going to get hit with taxes? Sometimes just having the right person in your corner that says, slow it down. Okay, let's think about this better. If you don't need it if you're not going to, leave it in cash. I'm not going to need it for like a year and a half. What? I mean, it's just a lack of knowledge. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say anything badly about people. It's just a lack of knowledge. If my dad had known then what he knows now, he would not have put all of his savings into that policy.
Yeah. Well, there was not there wasn't as many regulations back there then. That was the Wild West in the 80s and early 90s.
Especially with annuities.
Yeah. Because nobody knew what they were yet. So it takes a while for the regulations to catch up to new products and stuff.
Yeah.
But back to, I don't know. Anyway, Dawn, who is my coworker, she always explains it this way. She's like, you have to pay yourself first.
Yeah.
So back to, that's what I meant. People say they can't, or they don't, they do have time later. And whatever. She said, you always have to pay yourself first, and then take care of everything else.
Yeah, pay yourself, then get coffee.
Right. It's like the motto in our office is live for today, but plan for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's really how you have to see it when it comes. There are just so many different. It should try to understand the Hispanic thought process.
Yeah.
A lot of it is cultural.
It's very cultural, and it's lack of education.
Right.
It's educate yourself. It's so important. If Latinos, Boricuas, Hispanos, if you're listening, educate yourself. It behooves you. It is only for your benefit to at least sit down with somebody like Jenette or somebody that you may know that's a financial advisor that can give you guidance. There's no cost to getting education, and that's so important to at least know what you have and have that holistic view of yourself financially so that you can go ahead and pursue the things that you want to do, start a business, or know that when you're retired, you have your cushion there. You have something there that's going to be available to you.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Guys, so I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. So we have some people that have been Monica, Jessica, Danieline, thank you so much, guys.
Pete,
I mean, we
Romy.
appreciate you guys tuning in. Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you. I mean, we're here to support women, our Latina women, our Latino men. It's not just women. Yes, we are strong
Each other.
believers of
We're a human
empowering women
species.
because we're women.
Non-Latino women.
non-Latina woman, but we,
Latina
here-
by association.
by association, but always showing support. So we always appreciate that. I mean, guys, talk to someone. Talk to someone. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. Mm-hmm. Really, talk to someone.
Get educated.
Yeah.
And on that, support. We were we're kind of going low on time, but just having a support system in place of people around you, like you, just that are supporting you in whatever efforts that you're going through. It's funny because I had a meeting this week with a gentleman in a conversation of Latino, which is why I'm like kind of passionate about it. He mentioned the lack of education in the Hispanic market when it comes to finances. And then we were talking about the lack culturally of believing in yourself.
Right.
Because a lot of your parents, especially our generation, we're more ambitious, we're the go-getters, but culturally our parents, mine are deceased, but the parents in the generation before and family members are not supportive. They believe the rich only get richer and it's for a different class. Support your brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
If they have a dream, be there. Tell them to go for it. Not that it's not attainable. It was very interesting kind of what we were going back and forth with. And it's a lot of that is very observed, that in the Latino market, it's very difficult to have a dream and have your family be like, that's awesome. I got you. I'm going to support you. I'm with you. You don't see a lot of that. And if you comment, share, shout them out on our Facebook. We want to support those people too.
And on that note, just so you guys know, it's also very important that you can identify the type of support that you need. So if you don't know what it is and you're just like, I need help, you're going to get help thrown at you.
Yeah.
But it's identifying the actual support, because sometimes our insecurities drive our inadequacies. That doesn't mean that you need support. It means you need emotion, or you need, like the hand holding. You just need emotional support. You got this. But identifying exactly what that support is really important, because sometimes you'll get the wrong type of support and it'll make you feel like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't need that kind of support.
Exactly. Everybody knows what they're doing today.
So, but also be real with yourself. Are you looking for support, or are you looking for, somebody just to agree with you? Because those are
exactly
two
structure.
very different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So get structure in place, get people in place, get your finances in place.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. And have an awesome Labor Day. It's Labor Day weekend.
Happy Labor Day,
We're down to our
guys.
30 seconds. But I hope you guys are going to have a safe and awesome Labor Day and just kind of hang with the family.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of family, happy birthday to my sister Michelle. It's her
Oh,
birthday
yay.
today.
Shout outs.
Shout out.
Guys, two Boricuas, minding your business. Thank you so much for joining
Back
us
to my
today.
chair.
What a great show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Sandra and Jenette and Minding Your Business with Two Boricuas.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Boricuas. That's the number 2. If you'd like to give us some feedback or thoughts or be featured on our show, please email us at mindyourbiz@twoboricuas.com. That's the number 2 and Boricuas with a C. Boricuas. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and